Greetings, weary traveler. Come, warm yourself by the fire and let us regale you with mighty tales, tales of adventure, tales of heroism, Tales of Tamriel. I am your host, Aggelos, and I am joined by the one, the only Lotus of Doom. How are you, sir?
I am quite well, thank you.
Awesome. Glad you're here. Glad you're here. We also have Promethean over there. How are you?
Doing well, thank you very much.
All right, glad to have you. Glad to have you. And of course, you know someone's missing because they opened up a new toilet pool in Arkhaniir, and he decided to take a vacation and jump into it. So Ark is not here with us right now. So he's out swimming in some toilet somewhere.
And supporting the Dominion.
And supporting the Dominion. Yeah, I did see that his propaganda of supporting the Queen before he left, right?
Yep, yeah. I've seen it.
Going to some Queen Irene rally or something like that.
And I mean, there's really no evidence to dispute any of what we're saying.
Exactly, it's truth.
He's not here to defend himself.
Yep.
Might as well be true.
Yes, sir, indeed. Man, I heard he re-rolled an Altmer as well. Like he deleted Jorgen Kind song and made it, I don't know, Fluffy Fufu the Elf.
Yep. And it's as far as I understand, it's a Magicka Nightblade as well. He really just decided not to tank anymore. It's just it's weird. I don't understand it.
Strange.
I heard he made a Templar and he's copying my Sexplar build because he realized the ultimate form of tanking was with a two-handed weapon and as a Templar. I don't necessarily agree with the whole going elf thing, but I mean, it's hard to dispute his love of the elves. So I guess
right. No, that's Andy shaved.
They're pretty cool. So
and he shaved.
And he shaved. It's in the chat. It's got to be true.
Man, Isha coming in with the shave. Ouch. Ouch. Well, anyway, guys, we've got a fun show planned for all of you today. I think we all have a nice, healthy amount of ESO as well as probably some other games in here in the Elder Scrolls series. And, of course, a little bit of news to talk about. I'm sure all of us have got our trick-or-treat on, I guess, is the best way to say it. Yeah, something like that. Anyway,
something like that.
Witching.
The witching festival. Yeah. Now I have to pull up my patrons. Go ahead. Keep going.
Oh yeah, I was just, like maybe it's like witching instead of trick or treating.
The witching fest, maybe.
Yeah, it's the witches festival, so you go witching.
What do you think's in that cauldron we keep drinking that turns us into a skeleton to begin with?
Oh, it's definitely like guts and brains. And I think she uses that pumpkin that you have to get for.
Oh, yeah.
The rotting pumpkin.
Also. Yeah, nothing good.
Nothing good at all.
Nothing good.
Well, do you know what is good? The awesome people who support us over at patreon.com/Dungeon Crawler Network, because they are amazing, including Spectral Spire, Brian D. I'm going to try to pronounce this again because dear heaven above, Michalis, and Johan. Thank you so much for supporting us over at dungeoncrawlernetwork.com/Dungeon Crawler Network. I'm trying my best to continue going, but my wife is saying something and I might get distracted. It's pretty rough. Can anyone else hear her? I don't think so. My mic's pretty
just
not really.
Barely.
Yeah,
not enough to be distracting.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
Good. All right. Good. Just making sure. Yeah. So anyway. And thank you so much. And also the awesome people who leave us 5-star reviews on iTunes. I didn't see any this week. Did you guys? I didn't see any.
I noticed the number went up, but I don't think anybody left a typed thing. And you can't find out who does that, can you?
Yeah, no.
They have to type something in order to actually understand. Yeah. So I think that's the best we got. Thank you, anonymous people who gave us 5 stars. I think there were like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
But there was nothing with them. So thank you.
Yeah, no, they help.
Whoever you were.
They do.
They let people know that we are a real podcast, that we say real words, and sometimes they matter. All right, guys, let's go ahead and just jump right on into the show. Let us talk about what we have done within the world of Tamriel this week. So who would like to start? I'm gonna let people make their choice before throwing them in. No,
Oh.
no one volunteer all at once now or anything.
Yeah, I was gonna say, really nailed that segue.
So we did. We were really like, I'm on this one.
Crushed it.
I'll go. I'll
right.
start. This week has been actually it's had its ups and downs. I'm gonna say that I have found my own personal plane of oblivion in the game, and it is called using pug dungeons on veteran.
Oh, that's a dark realm to go in.
I know. So I typically have like really great luck, and I think we've established before that I might be the common denominator here. But I'm really like refusing to believe that because I'm a healer, so I'm not doing any of the damage. So like it really can't be me. But unfortunately, I've been getting stuck with these really terrible groups, and it's really been putting a damper on my dungeons lately. So then, yes.
Okay, all right. We need to expand on this a little bit. Do you have any in particular that were awful?
Specifically, like any dungeons of note, because some dungeons
Darkshade Caverns 2.
How is Darkshade Caverns 2 at all?
My guess is the Grobel fight.
I don't remember my DPS's name, and thank God.
we
never
won't name and shame,
whoever it was.
But yeah.
No, of course not. I would never do that to someone. They only used a light attack and poison injection the entire fight through the whole dungeon.
Was it me?
And that was it.
Because that's pretty much all I did for Vet DA or Vet MA. Pretty much that, and people were like, "Why are you doing? It keeps me alive, crying out loud."
Yeah. So I don't know. There was that, and then Banished Cells 1, I had an issue with that one to try and get the style page, which I have not successfully gotten yet.
Yep, I've got the shoulders like I always have, and I've used any one of those.
Yeah, I don't recommend doing what I do.
There's a style page from that?
That's the monster dungeon this month.
Oh, this month.
Yeah, so it just happens to be Banished Cells 1. You can get the Shadow Rend one. Got the shoulders on my first or second try, and that's how I always do. It's like, oh man, it barely took me any keys, and then nothing.
There probably were more, but I don't remember. I tried to steer away after those few encounters. But I have some really amazing news.
Oh, okay.
Also, so it's only taken me like 4 years because I didn't really have people to play with. But I completed all of the quests under the Quests tab in the Achievements menu, which is really just like awesome for me. I feel like awesome about that.
That's actually a pretty solid accomplishment. That is a lot of dedication.
Oh, yeah. I just have to pull up my achievement here because I'm pretty sure I have that.
I don't have the Dominion. Yeah, I don't have the Dominion.
Okay, well, I didn't have anybody to play with for a long time, so getting the ones in Craglorn was like really impossible.
Oh, okay.
Because like some of those, like we had to do Shada's Tear or Terror, whatever it is.
Shada's Tear. That place is intense. I really like that one.
It's cool. I loved it. It was awesome. And then I had to do a couple Skyreach ones, and we did the Great Passage the other night, which was a total blast.
I forget which one you get to go to the shrine for Hermaeus Mora. I was a big fan of that. Is it okay? Yeah. Yep. That makes sense. The Seeker's Archive, since it's named after his Seekers.
I never saw that.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the name of his like little creatures that are floating around. Yep, that's weird that I can never remember that's the name of the place, but I want that statue for my house. That's a cosmetic thing I will give you money for, Zoss. That's a rare occurrence. Just put it in, I'll buy it.
Give me it. I also, so this one I kind of feel like bad about. I have a little bit of guilt on this one, although I shouldn't. I found in the guild store, or in like the Lore Seekers guild store, a Sapiarch swords motif for like 2,000 gold. And so I picked it up, but like I have a lot of remorse about it because I know it goes for like
that was missing a 0. Yeah, that was missing a 0.
So I really like I need to reach out because I need to pay the rest of that. And if they didn't mean to, they deserve the rest of that money. And if they did, thank you. I will have to see who it was, and I'll look back in the history to see who I bought it from. because it's been like slowly eating me away, even though it shouldn't be.
You are a nicer person than I am, sir, and I salute you for that.
Yeah, that is very altruistic.
Yeah. I don't know if I would be that generous. I'd have been like, yep, sucks to be you, but
Yeah, that's also like there's a part of me that's like that, and then there's another part where I'm like, yeah, I feel really bad about buying that, but also you listed it for that, so I don't know.
Yeah,
it's a toss up.
I mean, I think it would be more so for you, considering you only have like 10 gold to your name.
That's true. It seems like that guy, maybe he was just being super nice to you specifically and hoped you'd find it after hearing the last show.
He's like, Promethean has no gold.
Do you even
It's gonna
have
leave this
20k
in there.
gold to pay them?
I do. Because of yeah, I don't know why I had so. The other day I found out I had like 90,000 gold, and then I spent about 40,000 of it on some motifs. So I'm kind of broke again.
I don't know why I had so much. 90,000 gold is not a lot, sir. I'm sorry.
I was like, I almost hit 100,000 again. I actually think on one of my alts, like my healer, I think I accepted the 100,000 gold on him, and so he's got like 150,000 gold.
Can I tell you something that's gonna make you hate me?
Add a 0 to that, and you'll probably have what you've got on this alt.
Or 3.
You really want to know? I logged in today, and I had a bunch of mail.
It was all gold.
It was all gold. You want to take a guess how much it was?
Oh, your sales figures?
Yeah,
I was going to say, those are sales
Now,
returns.
this was an extraordinary high day for me. Normally, it's not quite this high, but you want to take a guess?
Definitely more than 150,000 if I had to guess.
I'll say 210.
Keep going.
310?
Keep going.
4?
Keep going.
400?
Keep going.
Good Lord.
I can't go
you want
higher.
me just to tell you?
Yeah, I was going to...
Yeah.
2.8 million.
Well, my joke guess was going to be you made $1 million.
2.8.
My joke guess was like, oh, we'll just be ridiculous. $1 million today. It's like, okay, well, you tripled that, but
I haven't seen 2.8 in my entire ESO career.
And that was just today. I don't have a lot of other guilds. I only have 2 guilds that I do anything with. The other 3 are trade guilds, and they're always maxed out. A lot of motif pages. Yesterday I got a lot of motif pages, and I actually sold the first ones I got because I knew I was going to be able to do this every day. So a couple of the Dremora ones were selling for like 50, 60, maybe even higher.
I was trying to do that in zone chat, but nobody was biting. So I was like, and then I just learned them because I was starting to run out of inventory space.
They accumulate really fast.
They do. But yeah, like I said, I sold all the ones I had extras of, or I didn't even have extras of because it was only the first day, but I got all of them and I decided to sell all of them. And yeah, I made quite a bit of, I think I made 1.3 million just from those.
Good.
That's so much gold.
Rystrid Gaming, what are you selling, skooma?
Yes. I was going to say, that's almost certainly the real case. Like, yeah, I'm selling these motifs.
Motifs. Would you like a hit? First one's free.
You want a taste of motif? It's
That's not how you use a motif. You just... Oh,
yeah, right.
That's awful, guys. True, but awful. Yeah.
Then the last thing of note, so they announced the Reaper's Harvest crown crates, and I have this obsession with statues that I may or may not have brought up on an episode before, but I'm really working hard to get all of the Daedric shrines. So far, I had Nocturnal and Ursine, and then the Reaper's Harvest crown crates had Sheogorath, and I had 5,100 crowns, so I bought the 15 pack. Did not pull Sheogorath out of any of the 15.
Ouch.
But accumulated enough gems to get him. I pulled.
There you go.
Yeah, I pulled a fifth card on probably half of the crates, and was getting like gold rewards on all of them. So it was really nice.
Gallus Nirn chat. Where's Ark? Did he not flush? Apparently not. Or he did. Someone did flush and he went down the drain. We're not sure what happened to Ark. I think he died. No, actually, I do know. He did message me earlier today saying that he was going to go to the gym and he may or may not actually, make it.
That's fair.
Yeah. So
That's
anyway,
all for me, though.
what was that?
All I got.
That's all you
That's
got?
all I got this week. Yeah.
All right.
Pretty
All
low
right.
key.
Well, Lotus, how about you?
All right. Well, I mean, along with everybody else, I've been doing the Witches Festival. I've got about half of the Dremora motifs. I need to get in and just speed run some of the quick trials, like the newer two, the boss rush ones. I still want to get better at Asylum Sanctorum so I can actually beat it on Vet, as it's the final thing in the game I have not beaten on Vet. So I figure if I run it on normal, and then like if we have a solid group, maybe I can run it on normal +1, normal +2, normal plus whatever, just as practice. But the real thing is, like, I just want to make sure that I actually get those before I lose the ability to. Plus, as we had mentioned last time, those are probably going to be worth much more than just the generic overworld ones, since not everybody can get a group to do a trial, or the arena ones, like, because I've seen a lot of people saying like, oh, I'm not going to do Dragonstar or Maelstrom to get one, so I need to do some runs of that. Plus, with the XP bonus, Dragonstar and Maelstrom give out really solid XP, even if you just blow through them on normal super fast.
Yes.
Yeah.
They really pay out in dividends. It's kind of crazy how much you can do. Like, it will throw on like a normal one if somebody just wants to experience it if they're new, and the group of us will just like go through, and it's like, man, whoever is leveling with us gets a lot of levels out of a single Dragonstar run.
Yeah, they do. It's a lot of experience.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it. I mean, I figure everybody's been involved with the Witches Festival so much, I don't really have anything super unique with it. So the main thing that I've been doing, as I mentioned last time, is I've jumped back into Skyrim because it's that Skyrim type of year. And I jumped into, I've been attempting to do actual quests. It's not going well. I just kind of roam around a whole lot. But I jumped over to Solstheim, which is the Dragonborn DLC. I forget what level you get attacked at, 28 or something like that. But
I feel like it's earlier than that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm really over already because I like to do crafting stuff, so it spikes your levels up really high, even if you don't like do that much. But that's how I like to play. So it's like, oh, you're 58 and you've been playing for like 10 hours. It's like, okay, well. But I went over there because, as most people know, being that he's my avatar and I post him in chats and he's my emote and he's pretty much everything, is Hermaeus Mora is my favorite Daedric prince, and I like his weird squiddy smoky tentacle weird stuff, and is really slow speaking every time he discusses anything. So the whole DLC devoted to him, when that happened originally, I was super excited about. And in terms of the Halloween thing, Apocrypha is so creepy. Like, it is super Witches Festival right there in and of itself in his Daedric realm. I kind of forgot how much I liked his realm. And, I go back to it each year usually. And man, that story is great. Morrowind being my favorite game. I love being back on the thing, especially with the rewritten music, because they change out the Skyrim music and they redid oh my God, the drum beats of the Dunmer and all that stuff. So cool. I love, that's one of my favorite DLCs for any game ever, is the Dragonborn DLC. And then the only other thing that there's kind of two things. One quick note. The dragon riding thing is the only part of that DLC that is not worth talking about because it is trash. Steering those things is a nightmare. Like, it's just awful. It's so bad. But I wanted to bring up, just because Ag, and possibly you too, Promethean, you have pretty extensive lore knowledge as well. And being another fan of Elder Scrolls 3 as your favorite Elder Scrolls, do you remember the Ascended Sleepers? You could kill them and you got the Grand Soul Gems. They were a really late level enemy. They kind of had the squid faces.
Mm-hmm.
They look so much like the Seekers in Hermaeus Mora's realm. And I could not figure out, I mean, you can check it out at some point type of thing, because I was trying to look it up and I couldn't find if there was any actual connection between the two things. They both look, I mean, obviously graphics is a bit different between, the two games. They look almost exactly the same. Like, they look like they could be the same creature, but just from different games. And I could not figure out what the deal is with these things and if they had any type of connection to each other.
I was not aware of any connection between the two of them.
Yeah.
I almost feel like it was just something along the lines of a reused model is a reused model.
Yeah, so like an artistic choice. It was just like, hey, whatever. Yeah.
Hey, do you guys remember that one thing we did all those years ago? Hey, let's reuse it because no one's going to remember this is where it is. Not knowing, of course, that the Elder Scrolls fans are insane and will pick apart
we're all
every little
completely crazy.
Do you remember that one point in time where there's like the triangle of the water in Redguard? That obviously means something.
Yeah, what? Right. Why did Dwemer cogs weigh so much less in Skyrim than they did in Morrowind? That doesn't make any sense.
Clearly, the passing of time change means something.
Yeah. Doesn't make any sense. No, yeah. So, but no, I was just curious if maybe anybody knew anything more than I did, because I always thought they were cool enemies, and then it ended up being like, oh, look, the cool enemy then relates to the thing that I think is cool in the Daedric Prince stuff the more I got into the series. It was like, okay, well, whatever. But yeah, so I was just curious on those. And then the only other thing I felt really worth mentioning through my Skyrim, I have no focus in this game, was I also started messing around with the housing. You can get the easy house like Breeze Home and stuff like that just from the Jarl and stuff, but then there's the Hearthfire expansion.
So
I love that.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting to see it now, because I haven't really actually gone back to that since really getting involved with ESO. Oh my lord, housing has come a long way in this series. Like, it's neat, but I mean, you just kind of collect some crap and you lay out what you would like in your house and you pay money for it, and they kind of just blueprint it and you sketch it out.
Yep.
And then in like Fallout 4, you kind of got to do the Minecraft style of place the garbage piles wherever you'd like and build a garbage fortress, which was like, oh, this is much cooler. And then I messed around in ESO and oh my God, is that detailed?
Yes.
Like, it's crazy to see how far the series has come with something that started as a $5 DLC that a lot of people complained about because it wasn't enough content. And it was like, oh, this isn't going to go anywhere. I don't like this. And now it's a huge staple to Fallout. And it's like, it's got to be one of the biggest moneymakers in Elder Scrolls Online.
Moneymakers in Elder Scrolls Online, I agree with. Now, part of this is, though, I feel like housing in MMOs is a little different because of the permanence that MMOs give.
True.
I actually heard like the base building within, I know we're not talking Elder Scrolls, but it's within Bethesda. The base building in Fallout 4, while at first it was kind of cool, ended up becoming a point of contention for people, because it's like, this doesn't feel like Fallout. I feel like I'm just building a stupid house that I don't even really care about. Like, I've heard a lot of people mention that.
It's super divisive.
Yeah.
It's super divisive, because like I actually really did enjoy it, but I like building stupid trash. And since I'm a klepto in these games and pick up everything that's not nailed down, you could take the trash in Fallout and make the trash into buildings. So it gave a point to it instead of like, oh, look, I have 100,000 calipers and 400 spoons and, 13, spools of like cloth in Skyrim. It's worth $1 a piece. Whereas in Fallout, it's like, okay, I'm going to throw all dumpster, and I made a castle out of spoons and all this useless trash.
Right.
So I liked that it gave it a little bit of a point. But again, like you said, it's like, I'm not sure it should be such a focus. Like an optional thing, yes, but like it kind of did ram it down your throat a little bit in that game.
Yep.
So I think that kind of turned a lot of people off.
I heard more complaints about that than anything else in Fallout, that there was too much emphasis on the base building. And again, I honestly think it's because it's a single-player game. And MMOs that have that sense of permanence, people like to build the houses because it's like, oh, this will always be here until the game literally shuts down. And for that could be years, decades even.
Right,
because
sure.
MMOs do last a very long time. WoW is a great example of an MMO that's, 12, 13 years old now. Ultima Online just celebrated its 21st birthday and is still running.
Lord.
Yeah. So these games are games that you play for the long haul,
Yeah. So, but those are really the only things. It was actually kind of neat since I've been playing a game that's not the mainstay current Elder Scrolls game. It was kind of neat to see a couple comparisons just from like, oh wow, this is, where this started, and holy crap, look at what this has become after, 7 years. It's like, wow, they really fleshed out some of these things that you could see almost in their infancy back in those earlier games, where it's like, man, it's crazy how much that series evolves, specifically with so many people complaining that they like keep dumbing them down.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like some of it's really not dumbed down, some of it's fleshed out, but then some of the more complicated stuff, yeah, it's streamlined is what I always call it, because I don't really, from being a fan of Morrowind is my favorite game, I don't consider Skyrim dumbed down. It's been streamlined. Whether you like that or not, that's up to you. I understand that, but like, I don't necessarily think that just being complicated for the sake of complicated means that it has to be better.
Fair.
So, yeah.
Fair.
But that's pretty much it for me. That's been my week of gaming. A lot of Skyrim.
Gotcha. No, that's pretty cool. I'm going to take a drink of water here before I go into mine. Delicious water. So, as many people know, I am trying to push the DCN Twitch towards partner. And we've been getting pretty nice views and stuff like that for our podcast. But I'm like, I needed a few more hours because Twitch requires you to stream for multiple hours. And the number of podcasts that we do each month, it wasn't hitting quite that time. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to do a special stream. And I said, well, what are people going to like to watch more? And the only thing I can think of is me dying horribly. So, of course. So I decided I was going to do Vet Maelstrom Arena on stream. Never done Vet Maelstrom Arena before. I've done normal, but again, it was like 2 years ago. So it showed I didn't even remember what half the stuff was. But I did a stream the other night and made it all the way to the final boss in 68 deaths. And I probably would have beaten the boss. At least that's what everyone on stream was saying, because it was going insanely well. Except for the fact I started getting tired of making stupid mistakes. And I was like, all right, well, if I don't go to bed now, I'm going to be late for work. And in all likelihood, I'm not going to finish this tonight because I'm just making stupid mistakes. So.
That final area is tough to make mistakes in.
It's unforgiving at the very best.
Yes. Yeah, it was fairly difficult, I will say that. But it was a fantastic stream. Like, it was awesome the amount of people who came out just to like support what we were doing. And I love the ESO community. I wish I could remember everyone's name. But unfortunately I cannot because I'm old.
It's also hard with that many people in a stream.
Yeah, that's true.
A very busy stream from what I was conscious for.
Yes. Well, we had some pretty great people on there, and they were trying to give me tips the entire time on what it was I needed to do. So, like, people were telling me this is what you got to do because I couldn't remember for the life of me. Like I could not remember any of what I had to actually do during some of the fights. Like, and I know Ark was in stream with us for a little bit, and he was starting to get a little agitated because I wasn't dying. I think my first death didn't happen until the 4th arena. And the majority of my deaths actually probably happened in the spider arena. Mostly because I forgot the mechanics, and that's where some really helpful members of the community actually came out and told me what I needed to do. Like, I couldn't figure out why I was dying. The little spiders and stuff like that were coming out and eating me, and I knew I had to take them to the light eventually. After like 3 deaths, I'm like, oh, that's right. There's the light that scares them away because you can't attack these things. I thought you could attack them at first because, again, I didn't remember. But, oh, yeah, Ish, I'll get to that one. Thanks for reminding me on that one. Well, before I get into that, I didn't have a death counter. I wanted a death counter, but I didn't have time to set one up. So what I did was I manually was keeping track of all the deaths on screen, which wasn't hard to do. Ark, being the generous guy that he is, went and set one up because he's a mod of the channel, and he set one up for me, but he made the command Deadplar to count deaths.
Oh, that is so funny.
It did make me laugh. As soon as he came up with it, he's like, oh yeah. So anytime that I died, it was Deadplar, you know.
Oh, yeah. God, that's too good.
But again, hence comes the frustration of him not being able to use it that often because I wasn't dying. But yeah, no.
Yeah, he was very frustrated at first. He was like, what was that? I remember you were in the poison arena when I was still watching, and he brought up the fact, he's like, why did I even make this thing if I'm going to use it?
Yeah. Yeah, why am I even going to make this? You're not even dying. Yeah. I knew he was a little frustrated. He even said in chat, he's like, I'm a little peeved off that you're not dying as much as I thought you would be. So, but overall, I didn't think I did too bad.
No, I was going to say, from what I saw, that was a pretty smooth run for
not having done it before. I mean, I did normal, but it was like 2 years ago, like when it first came out, so I don't even remember it. But
yeah, and I mean, normal helps, but I mean, needing to know where things are going to spawn a lot is so crucial in that place.
Yeah.
It's like, things, you know, if you're not on them, it's like they can do so much damage while you're trying to figure out where the hell they're even coming from.
That was definitely not me because I definitely had no idea where anything was coming from. It's just, all of a sudden, there it is. It's like, what are you doing? Get away from me. Yeah, no, I did die on the ice arena. Quite a few. Or not the ice arena.
The Rink of Frozen Blood is the ice arena.
Yeah, I think I only died like 3 or 4 times on there. And I thank you, Isha, for bringing this up. She goes, later it was used well. Yeah. But yeah, eventually I did start dying. And like I said, I got to the final boss, and the amazing people in there, I wish I would have taken a screenshot of them. They were trying to help the entire time, cheering me on, and they definitely kept me up later than I probably should have been, because I'm like, I was only planning on streaming till 11, and all the people in chat are like, you're so close though, man, you got this. I'm like, all right, let's do it, you know.
I did that to myself when I did it, and then I finally came to the point I was like, I can't do this anymore. I was like, I'm getting off, I'll see you all later.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened to me on there. About 12:30, 12:35 or something, I started making dumb mistakes. Well, it was a little before that, but I was getting closer each and every time, and like, I think the best attempt I got, he was like, I want to say 20%, like killed all the crystals, brought him down, and just
right
died.
at the end.
Oh yeah,
you were right there.
Yeah, they were like, you got this, you just keep going. But then I started dying to the Daedros, or making stupid mistakes, running into things, or getting knocked off the top. And I'm like, guys, I'm just getting tired. I know I have to wake up in like 5 hours to go to work. I'm not sure I can continue to do this. And I kept going, but eventually I was like, okay, No, after hitting like I think 68 deaths or something like that, and a couple of them fairly rapid. Like I said, the majority of our deaths happened on that arena. Probably half of the 60 happened on that arena, if not more.
I'm sure I died at least 60 times to those crematorial guards my first run.
I went through at least one stack of soul gems in that arena alone.
Oh my lord.
Really? Oh wow.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah, I ended up buying the banker so I didn't have to leave the arena to get more soul gems and potions.
Wow. That is dedication.
I struggled, but I was like, I am beating this arena during the double drops. I was like, it will happen.
And you beat it on the vet.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yep.
Nice. Yeah,
And I got my Inferno staff, so I've never been back.
Oh, so there you go.
I don't want to go through another stack of soul gems.
Right. Fair. Yeah, no, it hit that point where I was like, okay, I'm making dumb mistakes that I wasn't making earlier, guys. You guys are seeing this. But they were all super supportive, and that's where I wanted to say thank you to the community, because everyone who came out were like, they were giving me tips, they were giving me, and I think a lot of people were just remarkable. They were remarkable, but they were remarking on the fact that I was doing it on a Templar, because I think the running joke was like, if you do it on a Sork, you'll be done already, Yeah.
Sorks and Nightblades will just smash through that stuff by comparison.
Yeah.
They're just, I looked up because I was trying to figure out like what is going to give me the best chances of getting through the that Maelstrom, and Templars, Magicka Templars or Stamina Templars were like way at the bottom. It's like, this is the hardest thing to run it on. I was yeah, I'm okay without that.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I was even, one person remarked, you're like, is he doing that with a two-hand? Isn't dual wield better? And I'm like, yep. That's been the way of it since the beginning, but I like the way that dual wield feels, or two-hand feels. It runs well. I like the hot that can also function as an emergency heal. There's a lot with the two-hander I just love. The execute is unparalleled. Yeah, I preferred that, but apparently had I run dual wield with the blade cloak, it would have helped with damage reduction as well, so the crematorium guards probably would have had a less damage for me, but
yeah.
That's a little debatable. Those things still hit like a train.
Oh my god, they're so...
Well, yeah.
And it's funny because they're so awful in that arena, and you also fight them in the White Gold Tower.
Yep, I was just going to
on the way up, and they're so lame by comparison. I was why can't I fight these in VMA? Like, why do that? Like, speaking of snort and skooma, like, what the hell, man? Like,
it's like they're roided out cousins.
Yeah.
It's insane. Like, yeah, I do agree. Like, the ones that you fight in... Well, I mean, they used to be tougher, I guess.
Well, yeah, White Gold's been scaled back.
Toned down.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess it overall has been toned down a good bit, but I don't know. Like, those things were the things that ended up killing me the most within VMA. But on the spider one, I know I got a lot of deaths. We started kicking those in because I wasn't paying attention to the lights. I knew the lights worked when I figured out the lights, but then I couldn't figure out, like, okay, they're like, you have to get the bloated ticks and you have to lead them over. I didn't know about when you could kill them anywhere. I'm trying to lead them. And again, one of the helpful people is like, dude, you don't have to kite it. Just kill it and run over top of it and use the action command, and then you can target throw it. Mm-hmm. Once I got that, I beat it the next arena, the next time through. I just didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, you can pick them up and chuck them, kind of like the little pus balls in the Imperial City Prison, which I can still not do properly. I have no ability to throw those things correctly.
Well, I noticed that it doesn't give you a reticule, it does a mouse target, so it's pretty much where your cursor is at the time you click it is when they go off.
Right.
So you kind of have to target the enemy, or not the enemy, but you have to target the thing before you click, or else it's gonna land at your feet or some other dumb thing like that. I did notice when you use those poison balls, though, if you can get people to stay or to land on them, it does a damage bonus to them as well.
Really?
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. If I knew that, I don't remember that.
Yeah, no, because it puts that acid crap on them.
Whatever. Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, totally.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If I did know that, I don't remember that.
I use that to kill.
Doesn't even sound familiar.
The final boss, I popped that on her and just ripped through her. Like,
yeah, I feel like that actually really solidifies I don't remember that, because I totally would have tried to do that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that well, remember you had to do it in the Imperial City prison. When you go into the Imperial City prison, one of the things you have to do with the pus balls is throw it on the
all the people trying to walk to the middle to spawn the flesh Atronachs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
no, that will actually help you in the long run, and it helps you here too. Or at least I noticed it helped me a lot, because when I was attacking her, I mean, her health was going down pretty quickly. But I will say the other thing that they noted before I go back in is I should probably use Hundings instead of Reliquin, because Reliquin's really not that great. Ideally, I would have had, and I talked about my build a little bit, but I use Reliquins because I didn't have anything else. Ideally, I would love to have Vicious Ophidian, because that's an insanely awesome stamina regeneration stat.
Yep.
But I just didn't have all the pieces. So I decided I'd go with my 2 Selines, and then I put Bone Pirate Tatters. Oh my goodness. I was never out of stamina.
Really?
Someone was asking. No, like never. There was never one time that I even had to look at it.
Huh.
Because you have to use a drink, okay?
Right, because that's the one that everybody loves for PvP. I know
and
my friends use it for Battlegrounds.
I can tell why. Because when I was doing it, when you have Bone Pirate Tatters, and if it gives you, I got Ancient Elf out of a Psijic portal. That's pretty neat.
It's the most random stuff in those.
Yeah, like we talked about, I think pre-show, I was, while we were getting ready, I was just running around, and I opened up a Psijic portal in Morrowind, and I got a Psijic Ambrosia out of it. I'm like, wow, that's
just so weird.
So strange, but
hey, that's a few thousand gold for me. I don't care. I'm going to sell
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, exactly. Sell that off.
Because I'm already at CP cap. I'm at 812, so I think I'm at CP cap for when they raise it with Murkmire, I think.
yeah,
So
it goes to 8. So
yeah, there's not really a reason for me to use it. I mean, I could use it on an alt, but I have so many scrolls and stuff from the daily login rewards. I think I have like 40 XP scrolls, and
yeah, they give you so many.
Yeah,
mine is the tri potions, which is great because I as a tank
I put them on low level characters, and I just
it just saves me though. I mean, I don't usually, but it's like, oh, I keep them just in case, as like everything's going to hell type of button,
right.
And it saves me needing to use crafting stuff to make them myself.
Mm-hmm.
Except they give them to me faster than I use them. I have 178 of the things. It was like I'm about to start a second stack of these, and I can't sell them. I was like, this is getting kind of weird.
And welcome to all the people who hopped in chat room. Thank you so much for coming out. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I know. I agree with you. The problem is with my Templar specifically. He has so many self-heals with, like, again, with the two-hander using Rally and then Vigor. I rarely ever use potions, you know? And
yeah,
I was doing the same thing. I put them on my Templar going, yeah, I'll just rock with them for a little bit and go from there. And see how it works for me, whether or not it's actually going to work or not. And I wasn't using them fast enough, so I threw them on my alt. So now what I'm doing is I'm getting a stack of them for each, like a 200 on each of my 13 other characters. Not that they ever are going to level, because most of them are just crafting alts. But thank you for the follow. Hold on, I got to figure this out here. Thank you for the follow. Xcore570, much appreciated.
Oh, yes. I was going to say, that's one of my Extra Life buddies.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yes.
That's awesome. Great. Which reminds us, let's not forget about that before we close out. So, Lotus, I'm
definitely not.
going to put that on you to remember. So, just so you know. Anyway, But yeah, no, that we were going through there, and yeah, those potions, I get so many of them, but I throw them on my alts. So once I get a stack of 200 on each character, I'll just delete them from then on out, because I'm not going to use them. You can't convert them to gems or anything like that, so it's like, why even bother, more or less? But
yeah,
they are helpful, and I'm not going to, you know, what is the term? Look a gift horse in the mouth? Is that how it
right?
goes?
I mean, free login reward. Oh, stop giving me so much free stuff. How torturous! It's like, what, if you don't want it, just delete it then. Like, whatever.
Right. Yeah, and that's kind of how I look at it. But I mean, it is helpful. I was using them earlier on other characters when I don't want to craft or waste my good materials. Like if I'm running a low dungeon or something like that, and I don't want to waste my good stamina potions that I use for raids and stuff, because they're fairly expensive and the materials are kind of hard to come across. And I'm a little bit of a miser because I don't ever buy them. I gather everything.
Oh yeah,
which is why I have all that gold.
You could buy the entire community out of their potions and still have gold left over.
The reason why I still have gold left over is because I don't do that.
That's true. I buy everything, so.
Yeah, no, I don't buy anything. Like, there's certain motif pages that, like, people are like, well, you don't have that set yet? Nope, I haven't farmed it. Well, dude, they're only like 2,000 gold a page. I'm like, that's 2,000 gold that I can save, okay? And throw in my giant Scrooge McDuckian vault, and I don't want to lose it. So
they could be making new mansions I can buy to not use.
Yeah, right?
Exactly.
I need more houses with nothing in them, okay? Which, by the way, I still haven't even went to the new one that we got. I haven't even walked into it yet.
Yeah, I've still gotten a bunch of other people's yet to step foot in my own.
Yep, haven't even stepped foot into it yet. Not once. So maybe I will one day. I don't know. The echoing silence in the halls tends to get to you after a while. So, yeah, no. But
the sounds of coins just dropping on the floor.
Yeah, no, like there's nothing in the house except for a giant pile of gold that I just roll around in. I'm like a dragon, really. Like I just hoard it all into a big pile and then sleep on top of it. That's what I do. Yeah, that is what I do. Anyway, again, I want to thank everyone who came out on that stream and everyone that was so super helpful and just encouraging the entire way. I think I told these guys prior to that, we only had one person who came in trying to troll me, and they didn't even do a very good job because the troll they said was something like, who let this old dad on playing games? I'm like, well, I am an old dad, so thank you. The community actually stepped up and started like attacking the troll, more or less, going, get out of here. He's doing better than you ever could. Like, it was nice to see that even the community that was in the chat room themselves took care of the problem that I didn't even have to look at, even though I didn't really care. When I finally saw what was going on, I saw like a whole line of text and stuff like that. I'm like, wow, a lot of people are really active. And I looked over and I'm like, oh, someone was trying to troll me. Oh, wow.
Yeah, that is one thing that's just like super useful. Like, because, I'm friends with a lot of people on Twitch who don't play ESO or they variety stream or whatever. And like everybody's mentioned here or there, like, oh, it sucks this game has a really toxic community or here and there. And it's always funny because it was like, when people ask me, I was like, oh, what do you do with trolls in your chat? I was like, I by the time I notice them, they've left because they're tired of getting harassed back by all the people being like, don't be a huge douche. Like,
right.
So it's like, I don't know, man, you don't really need to deal with it too much in this game. I mean, there's been some freak occurrences, but then again, everybody comes to that person's defense. Like, okay, well, no, like that's ridiculous. So it's like it's an oddly tight knit group in the Elder Scrolls like whole community.
Because we're obviously DCN does a couple different shows for other games and stuff like that. And yeah, we do see the toxicity in some other communities. Not all, but a good number of them. You can see like the trolls are more commonplace. This game, it's almost like I've never had to ban a troll because they're so rare. It's like I want to study them. Like when they come into my chat, it's like, you exist?
It's a science experiment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone
like,
look at this guy.
Look at this guy. This is amazing. I didn't know they were still around. But yeah, no, stuff like that is pretty neat. But I did want to say thank you to all the awesome people. Even if I can't remember everyone's name, I even thought after I closed the stream, I'm like, I need to remember all these people because they were so great, and I can't. And I am sorry, but you know who you are. The people who stayed with me pretty much all night. And
you need like 14 screenshots with that many people in chat, though.
yeah, no, there. It's not like it was just one person either. It was a lot of people. So the names are all meshing together at this point. I'm trying to picture them in my head, and I just cannot for the life of me.
Plus your brain's mush from doing VMA anyway.
Yeah, right? I just did VMA for like 7 hours. Actually, it wasn't quite that long. It was like 6, I think, is when I ended
But still,
it.
try multitasking while also playing super end game. It's like...
Yeah, it wasn't happening, but you guys were amazing, and I really do appreciate the ESO community as a whole because you guys are fantastic. So I think that's going to be the end of my tales because that was really all I did, but it was such an amazing night and something fun that I was quite proud of myself how well I did, even though I still haven't beat it. Like, the quest is still sitting here, but I haven't went back in yet. Like,
right, you're at the final arena.
Yeah.
It's just the Theater of Despair left.
Yep. And I just haven't walked in and done it again. But I thought I did pretty well overall, like, for the fact that, I was right there almost the entire time. There wasn't much for me to do left, and I got pretty far with fairly minimal amount of deaths. Like I said, 68, which may not be super great. Some people were probably like, no, that's not super great. But for me, I felt like that was pretty good considering I've never done vet before. So
I had 200, so at least that I know of.
It took me 31 hours my first time, so...
Well, in reality, I still haven't beat it yet. So it still could. But given
somehow
whatever...
I think if you got that... 6, you're probably not going to tack on 25 more hours in the final arena. It took me a while on that one.
No, from what everyone's even telling me at this point as well, like they're like, dude, you're pretty much already there. Like, you're already there. So all you have to do is just keep pushing. So... yeah.
That would be cool to finish it.
I think everyone in chat just heard my wife yell about something or another. She's like, sorry, yeah. My mic doesn't pick up a whole lot, but it picked that up, and everyone's like, my wife is frantically yelling about something or another, but as people are like, I don't know how to do that. Yeah. No. So people can hear you, babe, just so you know. She's sorry, everyone. She's having some issues. It's fine. Johan said in chat, and I got a shout. Honestly, I don't know how I didn't know DCN sooner. Best community. Oh, dude, you're fantastic. Thanks so much, man. And I see Doctor Who. Is Dungeon Finder Q running slow for anyone else on PS4? That is, I don't know.
Yes, it was. It was for me earlier this morning before work.
I ran a pre-made, so...
Oh, yeah. Sure. No, I tried to speedrun one. It was just me and 1 DPS. And again, as support roles, you get cues like just bing, okay, you're in. And it was like a solid minute and a half before we got in, which is odd for me being like a tank. It's like usually you have like, oh, I pressed the button and you're already grouped. It's like, so it was a little strange because it was a random too. So I didn't even like have a strange one picked. Yeah.
That's even weirder.
It was a little strange. So I don't know if it's still doing it. Maybe
you're already grouped and at the final boss.
Yeah. Thanks guys. I'll just take my experience and
just free click. It's like cookie clicker for a tank. It's like click, 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 click. Yeah. Nice. Anyway, guys, that's the end of Tales. Let's go ahead and move on to the news. And in the absence of the Elf Lover arc, or should I say the Elf arc, right? Because he rerolled an elf now.
That's true.
Yeah, and an elf sexplar too. So I mean, he's really jumping.
It's weird. Yeah,
it's weird.
It's weird.
Yeah,
Strange.
Yeah. Well, Promethean decided he's going to take the news for us. So hop on over to the news desk, Promethean.
Yeah. So there is a bunch of news. Well, I feel like it's a lot, but I don't. It's like 3 or 4 articles, 3 main ones, and then a fun little meet the character that we're going to do at the end to wrap it all up. The first one is Twitch drops are enabled. So that is, I believe, okay. So the schedule is on the page. The ESO live and official Bethesda streams are enabled for Twitch drops. On October 23rd is the Bethesda mainstream, and October 26th is TwitchCon. The times are on there, so you do have to be present for most. Oh, it just says they go out at the conclusion.
Yeah, I think it's 10 minutes, they said.
Yep, for at least 10 minutes.
Yeah, at least 10 minutes of the Bethesda stream to get some of their new stuff. But I mean, I think anyone watching this show right now actually will get drops, isn't it, for today? So.
Yeah, so the next one is all ESO streamers. You must be present for at least 10 minutes. This is going because of the Witches Festival. So October 19th at 10 a.m. Eastern through October 21st at 8 a.m. Eastern. Those drops will go out each day at 10 a.m. starting on October 20th.
Well, you're welcome, everyone in chat.
We got you here. Then they also are picked back up with the Murkmire PC and Mac launch on October 23rd, starting at 10 through the 26th at 10.
Wait, Murkmire comes out in 3 days?
Mm.
You said October 23rd because it's the 20th.
I did.
Yeah, no, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah, on Tuesday.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Because us console chuds still have to wait 2 weeks.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yay.
I don't mind.
I'm sitting here going, wait a minute. I think that's tomorrow. I still haven't even done, like, I did the precursor quest, but I definitely didn't do all the dailies.
There are
so many.
There's 6 a day.
6 a day, but apparently you can get an achievement of some kind. I'm curious if that's going to go away at launch or if it's still going to be available.
No, I did see someone did ask, and I think I saw it on Twitter. They asked if the quests were going away after the release, and they responded and said that they're sticking around for a while because you have to do 150 of them. You have to do 150 of them to get the title. So, and that I did the math. Roughly, it should take you about 28 days if you do it every day and you do all 6 every day. So that's quite a long time.
Another month of dailies.
Yes.
They're not even very, well, I shouldn't say they're not fun because maybe somebody thinks they are. I personally am not too fond of them, but.
I like the Murkmire ones.
So have you guys seen the Murkmire one? I don't really. The guy, one of the ways to, I think he's like the guy you're trying to get drunk, the Nord who tells the Daedric jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That dude is the man. Especially with the
funny.
How many
tickles does it take to get Hermaeus Mora to laugh?
Tentacles.
Tentacles, yeah.
That's the greatest thing I've ever heard.
They're so funny. Like, I just want to go through all of them and see what they are.
Oh, man. Yeah, I was super pleased. My buddy said that. He's like, dude, they can put in a Hermaeus Mora joke for you. It's like,
Oh, it's so funny.
As soon as that one came in, you were all over that. Like, yep.
Oh, yeah. No, that was when I started doing the quests. I hadn't done any either. And then I was like, that's great. So I started doing them myself.
We got Tentacles. Yeah, it's the
top shelf
joke.
humor.
They just made it with the. Yeah.
I actually love that is an Elder Scrolls dad joke, and I love it.
Oh,
very much,
totally,
very much.
All of his jokes are like that. Like all of them. One of them's like why did the blacksmith get angry or something? And it's like, because she lost her temper.
Oh, yes. Yep. Yeah, they're all super
like
cheesy.
super dad jokes.
I'm gonna have to go write them all. In fact, why is that not a segment on this show? Like,
seriously, that's how we should just end the show. Is we just have a snapshot of each one of the jokes.
I require Lotus. I'm giving you a task right now, and that is to go and find a transcript of all the jokes, and that's how we're ending this show.
Making a note, done and done.
Yeah, go find them now. We're gonna end the show that way because
they're so funny,
so good.
All right.
Yeah, we've also got 2 more stream events. The ESO stream team. The list is linked on this page. They are also doing. You can pick up Twitch drops from them October 22nd with the release of Murkmire on PC and Mac. So October 22nd after maintenance ends until October 26th at 10 a.m. And special events. This one is really awesome. It's a big, huge community event that I'm probably going to stop in for because it is just absolutely fantastic. In the spirit of October, it is called Tamriel for Tatas. October 20th at 7 a.m. Eastern through October 22nd. October 20th, my bad, at 7 a.m. through October 22nd at 3 a.m. Join ESO streamers as they host a 44-hour event to benefit the National Breast Cancer Foundation. So that's pretty great.
No, that is pretty cool. I
wanted to give that one a special read.
Yeah.
Then we have some really awesome stuff, which I am not going to lie, I submitted my name for. There is the hashtag #OurElderScrolls hashtag going around right now. If you enter this sweepstakes, I guess, you have the chance to attend E3 with you and a guest and meet the dev team. You get access to the convention, and there are also 252 runner-up prizes that include custom-made consoles, in-game collectibles, ESO swag, and much more. You can enter the sweepstakes by going to the hashtag #OurElderScrolls event page. They just have it linked on here, but we'll have this page on the show notes for you. If you do not play ESO, they have this really awesome way that you can still enter the sweepstakes by doing a mail-in entry form, which is really cool. If you don't play it, you can still get in on it. There are a couple ways to earn more tickets, and I just cannot find it right now.
That's okay. I mean, it'll be in the description. Everyone should look at it anyway. But Zos, I think you should just give the Tales of Tamriel crew, get us out there anyway. Because
I'm not going to say no to that.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll, be sick for work or school or something.
I think we could all. I think if Zos came out and brought all of us, I will tell you what. We'll do a live show there with you guys. That'd be fantastic. We'll set all that up.
That would be really cool.
We'll do that. So you can just take us all out there. All of us will show up. I promise. Maybe not Ark. I don't know. I think Ark would probably try to fly out too. But hey, it'd be great.
Definitely. We'll come hang out a little bit.
Yeah. We'll take time out of our day or out of our week or whatever, and we'll come hang out at BE3. Feel free.
Yeah, of course.
Seriously,
then there is
joking, not joking.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of not joking.
I'm really not joking.
I'll pay for my plane ticket. Just throw me up and give me access to the convention, and I'll be there. Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
just throwing it out there,
putting it out
something
there, everyone.
To consider.
Yeah.
There is also, along with that, our Elder Scrolls, which. There was a video that they tweeted out, and if you haven't seen it, it's really cool. They, Rob Whittaker, one of the UFC fighters, Lindsay Elise, a streamer and a cosplayer, and then one of our very own that a lot of people know, Coco Michelle, were on the video. And it's a really awesome video just highlighting how amazing the Elder Scrolls community is if none of us knew
that was a good video.
Yeah.
It's really cool. If you haven't checked it out, it's also on that webpage, so definitely give it a watch. It's 2.5 minutes, and it's totally the best 2.5 minutes of my life. I think I've watched it twice now. So
That's high praise.
yeah, that's like 5 minutes of my life right there that they got. So it's pretty good. I enjoy it. It's like a feel good feeling when you watch it. There's also this really cool thing for those of you who are creative, which does not include myself.
Yeah, I'm out.
You can design a t-shirt. There's a bunch of details that talking about Adobe and stuff that I absolutely do not understand. But for those of us who are not creative, during the week of November 12th, Zos and Iso will announce the 8 finalists and provide us a link, and we can all vote on which one we like the best. Grand prize, this is awesome. I'm just going to read this one because they get a lot of stuff, and it's going to be cool for them. They get any ESO player home of their choice, 2 free t-shirts featuring the grand prize winner's design, and 1 for the winner and 1 for a friend. Then a collection of all of the DLC and updates mini posters signed by the dev team, all of them from Thieves Guild to Murkmire, 14,000 crowns, and 1 devoted torchbug pet.
Wow.
That's quite a bit.
Right? And thank you for the bits, Johan. Much appreciated. Shout out.
There's all the fancy details if you know how to make those. If you know how to make a cool t-shirt, I will be voting since I cannot design one myself. And it looks like...
I actually have a couple ESO shirts, like 2 or 3 of them, and I love the ones that they have right now. So, hey, I'm more for that.
I need to buy some. I do need to get some.
Just a random finger poked me in the head.
Yeah, I've got a few from the Bethesda Game Day thing in PAX East. I was there for like the Morrowind launch and stuff like that, so I've got like the Morrowind t-shirt and then the Somerset t-shirt and the Bethesda game, but I don't know if I've ever actually bought any of them. I think I keep getting them for free.
Nice.
Oh, wow. Nice. Free shirts are the best kind.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie. I pick up free shirts from school all the time.
Probably.
Like free food, free clothing.
Oh, yeah.
The best thing I think I've gotten for free was actually from the community team when they were out at PAX West. One of our friends of the network, Asari, was out there, and I said to him, "Go to the Bethesda booth. They're giving away Morrowind coins. Give my name and say you want one for yourself and me." And they actually did give him a second coin that he sent to me.
That's awesome.
So I still have the Vivek head coin here at my house, and it's
so jealous.
I love it. It is so cool.
That is great.
Yeah. So shout out to Gina and Jess, the community team, for giving me one of my coins remotely because I wasn't there, but they were giving them away. I said, stop by the booth and tell them, you're with me and get one for both of us. Okay. So he did, and he sent it to me. So that was pretty awesome. I love that coin. It sits on my Elder Scrolls shelf because I have all the physical merchandise from the Elder, like all the statues, the books, the guar and the mud crabs. Yeah, I have all of those. So
yeah, and it's floating above my head off in that corner.
Pixar didn't happen. Follow the Twitter. Follow the Tales of Tamriel Twitter. It's on there. So
they're so happy. Soft.
Yeah.
Throw them at my dog's pretty determined to eat the netch, but
I don't have the netch. That's the only one I don't have.
No, I was gonna say my dog looks like she'd like to chew on the netch for a while, but it's high enough up, and she's so stumpy, so she can't reach it.
Yeah, of course.
Nice.
And we got one last fun little thing that I enjoy, so I'm going to read it all to you, and I'm going to butcher some Argonian names, of course. Well, probably just one, but it is fun. We have another Meet the Character for those of you who enjoy it. Mm-hmm. We get to meet Xukas. Probably pronouncing it wrong. Who knows? All right, and a little blurb before we get into the story here says, meet Xukas, one of Murkmire's more enterprising locals. If you're looking for a guide for your trip to Blackmarsh's southern coast, you'll find no better. However, keep your wits about you, as this clever Argonian certainly has a way with words. Out of all of the Meet the Characters, this has been my favorite, and I was actually reading it and actually like laughing to myself out loud. So I hope some of you find this as interesting as I did. Alrighty. So taken from Green Tower Winery's business correspondence. Crassus, greetings, cousin. How's business in Hammerfell? Booming, I'm certain. Those Redguards drink like fish, and our wine is the best in Tamriel. Negotiations here in Murkmire remain fluid. That's a swamp joke. I don't know why. Whoever wrote this, like, props to you, because it just really makes me cackle sometimes. You're not going to like this, but I need more gold. Only a few hundred more. We're very close to making a final deal with these Argonians. Trust me. I've been negotiating with one of these thick-headed lizard men since I arrived. He goes by the name of Xukas. The locals say he speaks for some tribe or another, but I can't keep it all straight. Anyway, who cares? You won't find a less interesting race than the Argonians. All they do is weave baskets, roll around in the mud, and croak at each other.
Feels accurate.
I know. Oh, it's so good. Xukas must be new to this sort of things. He asks questions constantly. How many people work for you? How much gold do you have in savings? What are your shipping schedules? It got so tiresome that eventually I just let him look at our business ledger, as if he could read something that complicated. In any event, he asks less questions now. Thanks, Zenithar, for that. Now, for all his naivety, when it comes to business matters, he does have a fair eye for pottery. I know we agreed to purchase some of the cheaper Lilmoth-made stirrup jars to transport our wine, but Xukas introduced me to another lizard named Jeem something or another, who makes an even cheaper jar that's just as good. Needless to say, I jumped on the offer and purchased 12 dozen. Here's where things get complicated. The pottery that Jeem, whatever his name is, makes contains trace amounts of wash tongue powder, a local mineral that helps in the firing process. It's harmless for Argonians, but causes all sorts of intestinal issues for civilized people like us. Luckily, Xukas knew yet another Argonian named Neep or something who makes a really remarkable ash glaze. Applying it to Jeem's pottery should make it perfectly safe for transporting our wine. I bought as much as I could, but supplies are extremely limited. Xukas explained that Neep's ash glaze comes from a very specific marsh plant that only grows on a peninsula north of Alton Merhilo? I'm really sorry on that one. He told me the property owners would be willing to trade it to us for next to nothing. They just want some old imperial deeds or a favor of some variety. We'd have to sign a contract, I think. I still don't fully grasp all the particulars. Anyway, once we own the deed to the peninsula, we can make as much of the glaze as we want. In summary, I've negotiated circles around this Xukas character and acquired an entire jar-making operation. Now, as I mentioned, I'll need something like 600 gold, a number of old imperial documents, and some burly laborers to clear bush and beasts from our new land parcel. Make sure they wear sturdy boots. It can get a little wet out there. Here's to a new and lucrative business venture, your cousin and partner, Leonian. And then he gets a message back from his cousin. Leonian, you want a king's ransom in gold for defective pottery, insufficient glaze, and a half-sunken peninsula in a man-eating swamp. Xukas is not the one getting fleeced. Come home immediately and leave the jars.
I was just going to say, he's getting worked over.
I know. Oh, I thought that was honestly the best one I have ever read out of all of them.
That's pretty funny.
Oh, got a kick out of it.
That's pretty. I like that. I like that a lot.
I like those a lot, actually.
They're just like progressively getting better, and I like. Just props to Zos on all of it.
Well, it's the little attention to detail that's why everybody gets so many different things out of this like game, because the world is so fleshed out.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Exactly. Like stuff like this that like other people are like you said, Lotus, you're like, I never like really pay attention to these. And I look forward to these every week. I'm like, there's another one coming. Like I'm on it.
Yeah. So that's just it. Prior to you kind of mentioning them, I was like, oh yeah, I think I saw something in those. Now it's just like, oh, that's a great addition. These things are hilarious.
Yeah,
like
they're awesome.
I think some of the best stories I've ever had within ESO specifically comes from not just those, but I mean half the books in the game in general that people just skip by. Not like the mages one that you click for a skill, but just when you're going every single quest, I shouldn't say every single, but almost every single quest you do in the game has some ancillary book that you can find while doing it that gives more story than just what the people say in the quest.
Yeah, like Trial by Fire is like 7 books, and it's like a full fleshed out story, or then you have something like the Brave Little Scrib, which is just funny. Right. So it's like they have so many things that people never even see, just like squirreled away in the game, and it's like somebody wrote those, like they're legit books.
Yeah,
and it's like maybe 2% of the community ever even sees them.
Well, the one that always sticks out to me, and I think I bring it up every single time, but it's when you're in Rivenspire. In Rivenspire. If anyone's been there, it's all full of vampires. So, you know, my two co-hosts here, the closet emos.
Yes. Oh God, I did just become a vampire in ESO too, so I can't even deny it.
Closet emos over here.
Oh,
sitting here with their eyeliner. Yeah. Yep. Anyway, they'll appreciate this one. It's a side quest. It's not even a quest that's part of the main story. It's just when you're up at North Point, you find a guy who's trying to find his missing wife, and it's a quest that leads you into a delve, right?
Yeah.
And you find the wife. She's a vampire, so you kill her, and then you bring it back, and it's like, hey, your wife is a vampire. Sorry, you know, it sucks. He's like, yeah, I sort of figured she was taken away. He was a little bit more sad about it, but because you know, I'm kind of shortening the story desperately. But if you just follow the story, you're like, a guy has a missing wife. He reports it to you. You go find her. Found out she's now a vampire. What are your first thoughts on that? Well, she was taken, right?
Yeah.
No. You find pieces of her journal all the way through it. She actually went willingly because she's like cheating on her husband with this mysterious stranger who came out of the water.
Oh, I remember this quest now that you're right.
I do. Yep.
That's right. I actually remember that because I remember those things. Oh, wow. That's grimy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, I can't stop thinking about him. He came to me in my dreams, and then it wasn't a dream. He really did come to me. I touch his skin, and it's pale and icy cold. I can't.
That's right.
Yeah, it's like,
and you get turned into a makeshift hitman.
It's like reading 50 Shades of Grey. So
that's what I was just about to say. It's like 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, 50 Shades of Dark Elf.
Yeah, right. But that's something that it added extra to the story, that if you didn't pick up those journals, because honestly, if you don't have Librarian, that doesn't mark it on your map, and even if you do, some people don't read them anyway because they're just glowing books, but they're not Mages Guild, so they don't offer anything for you.
Right.
I mean, the only thing they do is they add to your eidetic memory, and how many people actually open up your eidetic memory to read books that you pass? Probably very few. I think I may be one of the few that actually read their eidetic memory from time to time, but there's also something to be said about doing it while you're there, while the quest is going on, because it adds so much more and fleshes the world out so much more than just what the quest already did if you take the time to actually read it. So.
Right. Yeah. Yep. I love the game.
Johan, 50 Scales of Grey.
50 Scales of Grey. I like that one too.
I think we did an episode at one point and we called it 50 Shades of Grey March because it was
because it was the Jigalag.
The Jigalag thing, 50 Shades of Grey March. I love a good pun, so
that's good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I love me a good pun. Yeah, so there you go. There's your Elder Scrolls puns for the day. All right, I think that's the end of our news section.
Yeah, that's all I got. It's all at Arcad for me. So
yeah. All right, well then we're gonna go over to Lotus, who has his section networking in Nirn. Correct?
Yes, I do. And in the generalized theme, I mean, there's some lore seekers in chat. I was gonna say 2 of us are part of the lore seekers as well in game.
Won't name names, but
no. But I am going to highlight he's a Twitch streamer. He's a lore seeker. He is a super nice guy, and he actually has a show that he does on Twitch. It's called Grab Your Ale and Share Your Tale. Most people from the lore seekers will know Orkide, who is super nice dude, has a pretty stellar beard, And
I think he just followed us too the other day on like I got a
probably
notification
because he was asking for all the details on the show. I've been meaning to queue up. He's like, I need a link. Very good. What do you call it? In just shouting out the fact that what do you call it? He's been streaming pretty well and gotten some good growth. He just actually passed 500 followers on his Twitch channel, and he started right around the time of the Lore Seekers starting their podcast up. So he's had some good growth. Super friendly guy. He plays on the PC side of things. I know actually a couple of my friends who jump between PS4 and PC have joined up with him for dungeon runs and stuff like that. Like I said, super supportive. He actually won one of the giveaways during the 24-hour marathon I did that this summer. And he was lurking the entire time while at work. Hopefully his boss doesn't hear that. But so he was super good. He won some like one of the torchbug things or whatever that I was given to give away. And kind of like me, he doesn't seem like a big cosmetics type of guy. So he was like, oh, well, thank you. And he was like, I was going to do this later. And I just thought it was funny at the time. He's like, oh, well, hold on. I guess I'll just give my contribution to the cause now, and dropped like $100 for the charity. Just like, all at once. And I was like, oh my Lord. He's like, yep. He's like, consider that payment for me winning your giveaway. So no, he's a super nice guy. And he's obviously on Discord, where, I mean, most people are. But if you want to get in touch with him, he kind of has a pair of names that he goes with. Orkide is his tag that I met him as, but he also has AZTime, which he does for a lot of his other tags. So if you were to want to find him on Twitter, for example, you would find him at AZTIMMA. And he'll show up as Orkide, which is his Twitch handle. But you can also type in the same exact AZTIMMAY on Twitch. You'll find him that way too. It's the same guy. You'll know it. He's got the beard right in the profile pic. It's very easy to pick him out.
If you watch most of his streams too, I think he actually has a beard cam.
He does have a beard cam a lot of the time, which is really funny.
It is.
Yeah, he's got a camera on him and a camera literally just on the beard because it extends so far down. Yeah. So that's pretty funny.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little jealous. So.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. But no, super nice guy, very supportive. You'll see him bouncing around if you're a Twitch stream watcher. He's bouncing around all the time to different Twitch streams, just trying to support people as well as grow his channel. Super nice guy, worth knowing. And I personally really like his show that he does, which the Grab Your Ale and Share Your Tail thing, plug, I was on it a while back. But he's had much better guests that are far more entertaining. But nonetheless, it's basically like an interview show so that people in the community get to know about other people in the community. Kind of the exact same idea that I have for this segment, except it's an interview with the person. So you get to hear the person. Same thing. They're on video if they want to be. And you get to chat with other people around the community. I think it's a great idea for a show. So I hope he sticks with it. And it seems like it's got some good traction. So nice. That is our community member for the week on Networking on Nirn.
There you go. All right. Well, I guess we're kind of at the end of our show, but I guess the real big question is, did you find the thing, the jokes?
Well, why should you avoid making? He always cold harbors a grudge.
You're gonna have to read that again. It kind of broke up there for a second.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Damn it! I was gonna say, why should you avoid making Molag Bal mad?
Why?
Because he always cold harbors a grudge.
These are so good.
That was the first one of the group of them that I could find.
Oh, I'm going to write them all down now for next week.
Yeah, we'll have to go do them and we'll write them down. Yeah.
It's so funny.
I feel like that is probably one of the more important things we could do today.
I will make that my new segment. I will have just a few Elder Scrolls jokes every week. That'll be at the very end.
I approve of this completely. So yeah, I think that's definitely what we should be doing. So yeah. All right. Well, guys, I guess that'll be the end of our show for tonight. So where can everyone...
Extra Life?
Oh, right. See,
Extra Life?
I figured I'd do it on the way out. So.
Okay.
All right. Well, then how about, we'll just do our where people can find us. You can take care of the Extra Life, too. So,
sure.
Got it.
Promethean, why don't you go first?
Yes. You can find me on Twitter and PlayStation at Promethean99. My email is on my Twitter. If you have any questions, feel free to send me a friend request on PlayStation and come hang out with me in game. I am basically always on every night, and if you catch me on a Saturday, I will be there like all day, unless I've got some homework, which I typically neglect for ESO because school and ESO, with one's better than the other. You can take your pick. Yeah, you can take your pick on which one's better, but
fair enough.
It is what it is. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, Lotus.
All right. So the most important thing that I'll mention is what we're going to be shouting it out. A little more coming up. It's coming up to game day with the Extra Life Marathon, which is for the Children's Miracle Network. They have a network of hospitals that does not turn away children in need of medical attention. And this specific thing, Extra Life, is a charity that is devoted to providing funds through gaming to these hospitals. Since it is, all done regardless of whether they can kind of afford it or not, they do rely a lot on donations. And I double checked. I was pretty sure it was. And then I realized that the shirt I had is like a fundraiser thing it has a giant number 10 on it. This is the 10th year. So this is the decade one. And they kind of it started with a concept of you marathon a game for 24 hours. People kind of cheer you on just like a normal race or any other type of marathon, except they tried to focus this one around gaming. Well, the Lore Seekers, as well as the ESO podcast fam, we've got our own little group together, and we're going to do a stream day on November 3rd, which is the major marathon day. Mm-hmm. And I believe, are working on finalizing who's streaming at what time.
Yep.
But basically, you will be able to find any of us from the ESO podcast fam, the Lore Seekers, the Tenants, us here at Tales of Tamriel, and the Sons of Sithis. We are all going to be involved in a 24-hour nonstop marathon, and it will just shift from one group to another as opposed to one single person doing it for 24 hours, and it'll just shift along the way. I feel like my stream just froze, which could be a huge problem. Hopefully not, but I think it did.
Yours did, but I think the rest of us are okay.
But
we're at the end of the show, so it doesn't matter.
Well, I'll just record this and hope that I'm not frozen.
We can hear you, but I think you are.
But the actual event will take place November 3rd and go throughout the event. And any and all funds will be donated directly to the charity itself. Okay, perfect. Like, video froze, doesn't matter. He needs to see my face. So, anyways, that's the...
Oh, looks like I think all of us
the exact details, and then kind of provide you more information on game day. But game day itself is November 3rd. So keep your eyes peeled on any of the major networks from any of us in the ESO podcast fam.
There you go. All right. Well, I guess that's going to be it. You can follow me if you're interested. Aggelos, AGGELOS_DCN. Of course, you can follow everything we do over at dungeoncrawlernetwork.com. There you can find links to all of our social media, including Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, all that fun stuff, because that's where we all are. Where's the rest of... There it is. You can find us all on social media. Be sure to check out our Patreon program at patreon.com/dungeoncrawlernetwork if you want to help support the show. You can also leave us a 5-star review on iTunes so people know that we are a real show, that we say real words, and sometimes they matter. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Tales of Tamriel, and we will see you next time.
When Akatosh slew Lorcan, he ripped his heart right out. He hurled it across Tamriel, and the heart was heard to shout, red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. The laughing heart sprayed blood afar, a gout on Seer it fell, and like a dart shot to its mark down in an alien well. Magica fused the Lorcan blood to crystal red and strong. Then wild elves cut and polished it down to Chimel at a ball. Red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. When elves lost Nirn to men, Akatosh gave the stone to Saint Alesh in token of her right to sit the throne. Red diamond, the heart and soul of men. Red diamond, protect us till the end. Red diamond, protect us till the end.